I've built quite a few fireplaces on this channel, and there's always been one thing in common. Can you guess what it is? Leave a comment now with your guess, and then keep watching for the answer. Many thanks to Amantii for providing a demo fireplace for this project. I'll give more information on this unit and its features at the end of the video. On today's episode, I'm helping my buddy Joe transform his living room by installing a permanent electric fireplace with built-in cabinets and a custom mantle. I've already made 2 electrical videos at the start of this project. The first was to move the wall switch to make way for the bookcase, and the second was to add outlets for the fireplace and the TV. You can find links to those videos and other related information in the video description. Like all my projects, I always start with a plan in SketchUp so I know exactly what I need to buy and there are no surprises later. Materials for this project include 2 HAVSTA cabinets from IKEA, 2 Billy bookcases also from IKEA, pine boards and 2x3s for the mantle, the electric fireplace from Amantii, baseboard, crown molding and other trim, and of course LED strips to illuminate the bookcases. The bases on the stock HAVSTA cabinets didn't match the height of our baseboard, so we removed them and built our own bases from 2x6s. These were attached to the studs with long screws. It's a code violation to cover outlets behind permanent cabinets, so we cut the backs of the cabinets so the outlets would be accessible from inside the cabinets to power the lights in the cable box. The cabinets were attached to the wall with drywall anchors and to the bases with small trim head screws. We measured the distance between the tops of the cabinets and the crown molding and cut the bookcases down to fit. I'm using painter's tape here, but you can use any kind of masking tape to minimize chipping when cutting IKEA furniture. After test fitting the bookcases, we turned our attention to the mantle, which is really a hollow facade around the fireplace. We used 2x3 lumber to make 3 frames. The vertical frame on the front would hold the tile. The 2 horizontal frames would attach to the wall and hold the fireplace. Hardy board was screwed to the frame to form the surround where the tile would be attached later. The legs on either side of the mantle were made with 1x8, 1x4, and 1x2 pine, glued and nailed together. This big board, known as the apron, is a 1x10 that sits on top of the 2 little 1x2s on the legs. The 18-inch deep mantle shelf was supported by the apron and a cleat on the wall. With all the parts built and temporarily assembled, we installed the shelves and turned our attention to lighting the bookcases. The LED kit came with 2 5-meter rolls of LED strips that were cut to fit the length of our shelves. Using 24-gauge speaker wire for these low-voltage connections, we tinned the wire and copper pads on the strips before attaching the wires. Alright, now because these shelves are set back, I could fit my wires in here perfectly like that. And then this piece goes on here, like that, and this strip is going to go under here. You won't even see it. These lights use DC current, so it's important to maintain polarity. I made sure to use the striped wire for the positive side, and I tested the lights after every connection. And the wires will run down from the top behind the cabinets, under here, from this side to the other side, and plug in underneath there. We made sure to use the included L brackets to attach the bookcases to the wall when we permanently installed them. You may notice at this point we didn't remove the old crown molding above the bookcases. We just coped and caulked the new crown molding to match the old, and nobody will ever know. So this is the power supply inside one of the cabinets, and I ran the control for it right here. So that's how you turn up the lights on and off. And what I like about this is if they want, they could put a smart plug here because it has memory. So when you put it back on, it goes back on and you don't have to push the button again. We brought the mantle outside to install the glass arabesque tile. That was challenging to cut even with my wet saw. Note that we attached a temporary cleat around the opening to make sure the tile wouldn't slide while it dried. Alrighty, so the tile was put on yesterday and we grouted it this morning. It's still hazy, so it's drying. But I did put these pieces on permanently now, and they're adhered in. What I did is I drilled in with those little trim screws from the side, just a couple of them to hold them in place. And then this big piece here is also drilled in with a couple of those same screws. And I don't even know if we're going to put a board in here. Probably not. Just leave it open. It's not hurting anything. But that's that. Now I've got to work on the top. I'm going to put the outlet in the top. And then we can put that on. And then it's really just a matter of caulk and paint. If you want to make an ordinary cabinet look custom, you need to incorporate it into the room to make it look like it's always been there. We did that by using the same crown molding around the top and the same baseboard around the bottom. Next, Joe installed the fireplace logs and glass media to achieve the exact look he wanted. The final detail was to add box molding on the front of the mantle with a pin nailer. We used spacer blocks to make sure everything was positioned precisely. Check out this before and after shot to see the impact of that molding. Look how beautiful this fireplace looked decorated for Christmas. That's why we went to the trouble of installing an outlet in the mantel shelf. So did you figure out what all my fireplace projects have in common? They weren't all electric fireplaces. There are really two correct answers to this question. First, I've always used IKEA cabinets whenever I do built-ins. They're inexpensive and really easy to customize. And the second thing is, I always add lights to the cabinets. I would never do built-ins, regardless of who made the cabinets, without lighting them. So if you said IKEA cabinets or lighted cabinets, you were correct. Leave me a comment if you guessed correctly. Now let's talk about the fireplace itself. This is an Amantii TRD 33 bespoke model. It's considered a traditional fireplace because of the tall shape, as opposed to a more modern linear fireplace, which is much wider and takes up more wall space. This fireplace comes with a 5-year warranty, can be used indoors or out, has a speaker with an artificial crackling sound, a ton of log and media options, it's Wi-Fi enabled, and comes with a thermostatic remote control. It's pre-wired with a standard 120 volt plug and has 2 levels of heat, 750 watts or 1465 watts. With the remote, you can tweak the color and speed of the flame, the color of the ember bed, and the color of the downlight, which is what they call mood lighting. I think it's an excellent fireplace, but it's not perfect. The crackling sound was a little too artificial for me, and there's no way to dim the mood lighting, so it's just too bright in my opinion. Other than that, I think it looks awesome and the proportions are perfect for this room. Please leave me a comment with your thoughts, give this video a thumbs up since you made it this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDadTV for more great ideas and information.